In 2014, the California Department of Education was able to co-sponsor some legislation, Senate Bill 949 specifically, that created DASH, or Distinguished After School Health. And this became a recognition program that it's in its second year. The application was just released last week, and it has a due date of May 15th this year. This recognition program was developed to recognize programs that are doing exemplary work around healthy choices and behaviors. And so I'm going to show you a little bit of the application here through this presentation, and obviously there is more information available to the California Department of Education or the California After School Network. But essentially, what we want to do is we want to recognize programs that are doing exemplary work out there around healthy choices and behaviors. And so DASH is broken down into 3 areas. And so the 3 areas are education, collaboration, and communication, healthy eating, beverages, and nutrition education, moderate to vigorous physical activity. And so there are 10 indicators in total for these 3 content areas. And the application was developed by the California Department of Education with a advisory committee made up of folks from the field here in California and across the nation, from the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, or the YMCA Alliance, the Center for Collaborative Solutions, and others. And what we tried to do was to develop an application that was very, very simple to submit. The application calls for basically a checklist where a program can check if they actually meet the requirements per the DASH recognition program. So just want to walk you through a couple of them to show you how easy this thing could be to complete. So when we talk about staff education and your staff being trained in nutrition education and physical activity, this is the training the programs have every summer or throughout the year, or if they're part, if they have chosen healthy choices and behaviors as one of their quality standards that they're focused on for the continuous quality improvement plan, they would check this box, and then they would submit evidence to showcase that they have met this requirement. So for example, for the staff education one in 1A there on your screen, one of the things that they can submit is an agenda from one of their staff trainings that they have hosted or that they have participated in as part of nutrition education or physical activity. So as simple as that. So a lot of programs during winter break or during summer break, they offer training for their line staff and site coordinators around physical activity or nutrition education. So they would submit one of the agendas from that meeting or those trainings. They can also submit training materials. They can submit pictures with a description below. So very, very easy to meet the criteria for this evidence that they're meeting these requirements. So then we talk about student education, we talk about collaboration and communication, we're talking about how is the school program working with the school site in unison to be able to provide nutrition education and physical activity. We talk about parent education, which is something that a lot of our programs that are already doing fantastic work around the state, around keeping parents informed and engaged around healthy choices and behaviors. The next aspect of the application talks about the foods that are provided within the after-school program. One of the points of conversations that we always have in this committee is about how do we provide nutritious meals, whether it's through the healthy snack and or after-school meal or supper program? How do we work with our food service directors to serve healthier options or tastier options, perhaps? How do we incorporate water consumption? And how do we work with our students and our families so that kids and our students aren't bringing sodas or sugary beverages? Or how do we work with the school so that their fundraising doesn't involve candy and those kind of things? So examples to meet this requirement as part of evidence could be a simple detailed menu from the snack and or meal that's being served in the after-school program. So as you can see, what we wanted to do is make this as simple as possible for programs to be able to apply for recognition here, and the application itself is really easy to complete and then to submit the required evidence. Lastly, we want to talk about physical activity. Here, what I want to highlight, one of the things that we often talk about is this idea of moderate to vigorous physical activity, and that students are exposed or are participating in at least 30 to 60 minutes of physical activity every day. And so a lot of times when I visit programs, the program indeed offers a space of time of 30 to 60 minutes of physical activity, but the kids are a lot of times are just waiting in line or waiting for their turn or waiting for the equipment. And so it's not necessarily moderate to vigorous during the entire time that physical activity was offered. So I will guide you to the CDE, or California Department of Education, after-school physical activity guidelines there on 3A, and the website where you can find that is there. And one of the things that the physical activity guidelines talks about, specifically when it deals with the physical activity guidelines 7.5, is that PA, or physical activity, is offered towards the beginning part of the program, not later in the program day, but towards the beginning. And one of the reasons for that is students have been sitting in a classroom during the school day for about 6 hours. And then they come to our after-school programs, and then a lot of times they're asked to sit for 1 more hour or 2 hours to do academic enrichment or to do homework time or do those sort of things. And how do we get kids active in physical activity during our after-school program, not just in your physical activity component of the program, but throughout the day. And so an example of evidence for this could be just the program schedule or some of the lessons that you teach, whether you choose Spark, or for example, Soccer for Success is a great way to add 30 to 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity, because most of the lessons, or I should say all of the lessons from Soccer for Success actually call for about 60 to 90 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity. So that's what we're talking about here in terms of DASH. DASH is critical, and I think a great avenue to be able to tell our story of why our after-school programs are working with our communities at exemplary level around healthy choices and behaviors. And if you are able to get certified in DASH this year, remember, this is the second year of DASH certification. So programs that were certified last year, their certification is good for up to 2 years. So certification lasts 2 years, so they wouldn't have to apply again. But new sites that didn't apply last year are eligible to apply. Elementary, middle, and high school programs that are after-school education and safety, or ACES, and or 21st century programs can apply for DASH this year. They would get a certificate from the California Department of Education once they have been certified, and the California Department of Education will post the program's name in their website. And this could be very beneficial for programs that are out there seeking new funders or partners, or they are building relationships with the school administrators, or to even showcase to families and the students that you serve that you are being recognized for the great work that you're doing around healthy choices and behavior. So the application for DASH this year is due by May 15th. So it's due by May 15th, and in programs that I worked with last year for certification, this application really took about, if you have all of your documentation already, it took about 30 to 45 minutes to complete. There's no narrative for you to write anything in. It's just a checkbox. So there's nothing that you have to type or write. There's only a checkbox and then the evidence that you will be submitting as attachments. And so I encourage all programs, and I encourage all of you here in this call today to let the folks in your network know about DASH. Last year, close to 200 programs were DASH certified, and we hope that this year we get a lot more programs that are interested in becoming certified.